This Virgo full moon lunar eclipse, also known as a blood moon, is a game changer. Eclipse energy is always intense, but this one is particularly potent because it's sitting right on top of the South Node, illuminating past cycles, karmic patterns, and outdated habits that need to go. Virgo is all about structure, routine, and getting things right. But with the South Node involved, we're realizing that perfection isn't the goal. It's healing, release, and surrendering what no longer serves us. At the same time, the moon is forming a trine to Uranus in Taurus, shaking things up in unexpected ways, bringing breakthroughs and pushing us to let go of rigid expectations. Meanwhile, the Sun is conjunct Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune in Pisces, pulling us toward a more fluid, spiritual, and intuitive way of being. The opposition between the Virgo moon and Saturn in Pisces can feel like a tug of war between logic and faith, structure and surrender, the practical and the mystical. This eclipse is forcing us to release control over what's no longer working, whether it's an outdated belief system, a toxic routine, a relationship dynamic, or an unhealthy attachment to productivity. The key here is learning to trust both intuition and discipline, allowing divine flow while still taking grounded, intentional action. As we go through each rising sign, keep in mind that eclipses usually bring fated events, sometimes abruptly. They mark endings and new beginnings. And the shifts that they bring tend to unfold over the next 6 months or even longer. So take a deep breath, embrace the unknown, and let's dive in to what this eclipse means for you.
Aries rising. So this Virgo lunar eclipse lands in your sixth house of work, health, and daily habits, bringing a massive wake up call in these areas of your life. The sixth house rules over your routines, physical well being, and how you show up in service to others. And with this eclipse conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to break free from unhealthy cycles of overworking, self sacrifice, or perfectionism. Now, if you've been pushing yourself beyond your limits, running on empty, or feeling like you're carrying the weight of the world, this eclipse is here to force a hard reset. The energy is intense, but it's also deeply healing, showing you where you need to surrender the need to control every detail and trust the bigger picture of your well being. With the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your sixth house, you're facing a karmic pattern related to productivity, work, and self worth. So, have you been overextending yourself in a job that drains you? Are you constantly chasing the perfect routine but feeling burnt out? Do you struggle with guilt when you rest, as if you always need to be doing something? The South Node represents what we've mastered in past lives but now need to release. For you, that means shedding the belief that your worth is defined by your work output. This is a moment of realization. You don't need to hustle nonstop to prove your value. If you've been ignoring your body's messages, skipping meals, or feeling anxious about falling behind, this eclipse will make it impossible to ignore what needs to change. You may experience a major shift in your job, your health, or daily responsibilities, whether through an ending, a breakthrough, or an unexpected realization that you simply can't continue living this way. Now, with Uranus in your second house of finances, self-worth, and security, this is forming a harmonious trine to this full moon lunar eclipse, which means that as you release these toxic cycles, surprising opportunities may emerge. So this can show up as a sudden financial shift, whether it's an unexpected raise, a new job offer, or even a side hustle taking off. This can be a breakthrough moment around your self-worth, realizing you no longer need to stay in situations that drain you, or a radical change in how you approach money. You may decide to invest in your well-being, drop a stressful client, or raise your prices if you're self-employed. This is an invitation to trust yourself, to believe that prioritizing your health and peace will not jeopardize your success. In fact, it will open doors to greater abundance. Now, while the Virgo moon is pushing you to release toxic productivity habits, the Pisces sun, Saturn, and North Node in your 12th house are calling you inward. Now, the 12th house is the house of surrender, healing, and spirituality. It rules over what is hidden, your subconscious mind, past life karma, and the parts of you that operate behind the scenes. This eclipse is pushing you to slow down and rest, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. It's pushing you to listen to your intuition. Your gut is screaming at you to pay attention, as well as it's pushing you to let go of guilt around taking breaks. Rest is not laziness. It's fuel for your next level. Now, the opposition between the Virgo moon and Pisces Saturn may create an inner conflict between logic and faith, control versus surrender. So you might feel resistance when trying to lean into your intuition, as if you need a practical reason to rest, rather than trusting that your energy is shifting for a reason. This is where the North Node's guidance comes in. You're being pulled toward deep spiritual healing. It's time to create more balance between action and stillness, discipline and flow. Now, some steps for you to be able to navigate this eclipse. The first step is to release toxic productivity. So take an honest look at your daily habits. Where are you overworking yourself? Identify what is draining you and make a plan to set boundaries. Give yourself permission to prioritize your well-being without guilt. Next is to embrace change in work and money. So stay open to unexpected financial shifts. Trust that what you lose is making space for something better. If an old job or routine is no longer working, don't resist the change. This is divine realignment. If an exciting new opportunity appears, trust yourself enough to take a leap. And finally, prioritize rest and spiritual connection. Take more time for meditation, journaling, or therapy. Your subconscious is trying to communicate something. Pay attention to your dreams and intuitive downloads. They hold important messages right now. And release the need to have all the answers immediately. Some things will unfold in divine timing. A great affirmation for you for this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is, I am worthy beyond my productivity. I honor my body, mind, and spirit by creating balance. I trust that releasing what no longer serves me will open new doors to abundance and peace. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this message, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig even deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Taurus rising. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is a game changer for you, since it's lighting up your fifth house of creativity, romance, self-expression, and pleasure. The South Node's presence here signals a karmic release. You're shedding outdated patterns related to how you express yourself, how you seek validation in love, and what truly brings you joy. If you've been holding back your creative talents, settling in uninspiring relationships, or struggling with confidence in your gifts, this eclipse is here to shake things up. You're being pushed toward authentic self-expression, unapologetic joy, and taking center stage in your own life. But first, you have to let go of whatever is keeping you small. With the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your fifth house, you're facing deep-seated patterns that have shaped your romantic life, creative projects, and inner child wounds. So ask yourself, do you rely on external validation outside of trusting your own creative power? Have you been playing it safe in love, afraid to take emotional risk? Do you struggle to have guilt-free fun, always feeling like you should be doing something productive? This eclipse is highlighting what needs to be released, whether it's a relationship that no longer aligns with your happiness, a fear of stepping into your creative gifts, or an old version of yourself that sought approval instead of self-acceptance. If you've been playing a supporting role in your own life, this eclipse is your wake-up call to step into the spotlight. Now, the Virgo moon is forming a powerful trine to Uranus in your first house of identity and self-image, and this is where things get exciting. So Uranus in your sign has already been shaking up your life over the past few years, urging you to embrace change and to reinvent yourself. Now, this eclipse activates that energy in a big way. So you might feel an unexpected urge to express yourself differently, whether through fashion, art, or how you present yourself to the world. You could experience a sudden breakthrough in confidence, realizing that you've been holding yourself back for far too long. And some Taurus risings may experience unexpected romantic shifts. If you've been stuck in a relationship that limits you, this could be the breaking point. This is a moment of radical self-acceptance, self-expression, and bold new beginnings. If you've been afraid of what others will think, this is your sign to stop caring and start living for you. Now, while this eclipse is pushing you to be your most authentic, creative, and self-expressive self, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are shining a light on your 11th house of friendships, community, and future dreams. This means you are outgrowing certain social circles. If a friendship, group, or community no longer resonates, it's time to move on. You may feel called to align with people who support your creativity and true self. Your soul tribe is waiting for you. And some of your long-term goals and dreams may shift. This is a reminder that you don't have to follow the same path forever. Now, this Virgo eclipse opposite Saturn currently in Pisces may create a push-pull between your personal desires of your 5th house and your social responsibilities of your 11th house. So you might feel torn between wanting to follow your heart and feeling obligated to conform to what others expect of you. But Saturn is teaching you an important lesson. The right people will love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. So if you've been dimming your light to fit in, this eclipse is calling you to stand out. Now, some actionable steps that you can take to best navigate this eclipse energy is first to let go of fear around self-expression. Release the idea that you need permission to create, love, or enjoy life. Trust your creative instincts, whether it's art, music, writing, or any form of self-expression. It's meant to be shared. And if you've been afraid of judgment, remind yourself, your gifts aren't meant to be hidden. Next is to allow romantic and social shifts to happen. If a relationship has been keeping you small, this eclipse may bring a turning point. Trust what unfolds. If you're single, be open to unexpected romantic encounters that may feel fated. And evaluate your friendships. Are they nurturing your growth or keeping you stuck? And finally, embrace change and boldly step into the spotlight. With Uranus in your 1st house, this is your moment to embrace reinvention. If you feel called to express yourself differently, whether through your style, your career, art, or your identity, do it without hesitation. Take a risk, whether it's launching a creative project, putting yourself out there, or stepping into leadership. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse is, I release the fear of judgment and embrace my true self. My creativity, joy, and self-expression are sacred, and I allow them to shine freely. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this information, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dive even deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Gemini. So this Virgo lunar eclipse lands in your 4th house of home, family, emotional security, and foundations, signaling a powerful shift in your private life. Now, eclipses in the 4th house often trigger deep emotional revelations, changes in your living situation, or major realizations about your roots. And with this eclipse conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release the past. Whether it's letting go of childhood wounds, breaking free from toxic family dynamics, or moving on from a home or place that no longer feels right, this eclipse is here to push you toward healing and emotional renewal. Now, with this Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 4th house, you may be confronting old emotional wounds, deep-seated family patterns, or outdated definitions of security. So ask yourself, are you holding on to family expectations that don't align with who you are? Do you feel emotionally stuck, repeating the same cycles in relationships or your home life? Are you clinging to a living situation, job, or relationship that feels more like an obligation within a choice. The South Node represents karma, what we've outgrown, but may still be holding on to out of fear or habit. This eclipse is forcing you to release what no longer nurtures you so you can build a stronger, healthier emotional foundation. Now, if you've been ignoring family wounds, ancestral patterns, or unresolved childhood issues, they may come up loud and clear under this eclipse. But this is not to punish you, it's to set you free. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine to Uranus in your 12th house, which means this emotional release comes with unexpected spiritual awakenings, intuitive downloads, and hidden truths surfacing. Uranus in the 12th house is shaking up your subconscious mind, past life karma, and hidden fears, which means you may experience sudden spiritual insights or have intense dreams that reveal deeper truths. It can also mean that old secrets or suppressed emotions could surface, whether from your own past or your family's history. It can also mean that a major perspective shift could happen, where you finally see the past from a new, liberating angle. This aspect encourages you to trust the unseen. If something unexpected happens, know that it's guiding you toward emotional freedom, even if it feels unsettling at first. Now, while this eclipse is uprooting old emotional patterns, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are activating your 10th house of career, reputation, and life purpose. So this means that you're being called to step into a greater public role. But first, you must release old emotional baggage. You may be reevaluating your career path. Is your work truly aligned with your soul's purpose? So authority figures such as bosses, parents, mentors, they may all play a significant role in your decisions right now. Now, the Virgo moon in opposition to Saturn in Pisces suggests that you may feel pulled between your personal life and career obligations. So if you've been over-prioritizing work and neglecting your emotional needs, this eclipse is here to restore balance. This is a destined turning point. You're being pulled toward a higher calling, but in order to fully step into it, you need to clear emotional and ancestral baggage that's been holding you back. Now, some steps that you can take to navigate this eclipse energy is, first, to let go of toxic family patterns and redefine security. If family expectations or old conditioning have been holding you back, it's time to break free. Acknowledge where you're repeating ancestral cycles and consciously choose a new path. If your home no longer feels safe or supportive, consider changes in your living situation. Next is to listen to your intuition and embrace spiritual healing. Pay attention to dreams, synchronicities, and gut feelings. Your intuition is on fire. Engage in meditation, breath work, or journaling to process emotions and gain clarity. If deep-seated fears or past traumas arise, seek healing, whether through spiritual work, self-reflection, or therapy. And finally, align your career with your soul's purpose. If you feel uninspired by your career, this is your sign to pivot towards something more meaningful. If an opportunity arises that aligns with your passion, trust the universe and take the leap. Work-life balance is key. Don't let career pressures stop you from prioritizing your emotional needs. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release past emotional wounds and open myself to healing. My foundation is strong, and I trust that every change is guiding me toward my highest path. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings link below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Cancer rising. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse lands in your third house of communication, mindset, learning, and immediate surroundings, bringing major shifts in how you think, speak, and connect with the world around you. Since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being pushed to release outdated ways of thinking, limiting beliefs, and unhelpful communication patterns that have kept you stuck in cycles of overanalyzing, self-doubt, or people-pleasing. If you've been holding back your voice, this eclipse is here to shake that up, forcing you to speak your truth, shift your mindset, and embrace a new way of thinking that actually supports your growth. With the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your third house, you're facing deep-rooted patterns around how you communicate, learn, and process information. So ask yourself, have you been overanalyzing or second-guessing yourself instead of trusting your intuition? Do you hold back your real thoughts and opinions out of fear of judgment or conflict? Have you been stuck in a negative mental loop, repeating old fears or self-doubt? The South Node represents karmic cycles that you're being asked to release. And for you, this eclipse is about breaking free from outdated mental patterns that have kept you in overthinking mode instead of taking action. So if you've been hesitant to share your ideas, this is a wake-up call to own your voice and perspective. The universe is asking you to trust yourself, stop over-explaining, and speak with confidence. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine to Uranus in your 11th house of friendships, networks, and future goals, meaning this shift in your mindset will have a ripple effect on the people you surround yourself with and the dreams that you pursue. So this could manifest as a sudden realization that certain friendships are no longer aligned with who you're becoming. It could show unexpected networking opportunities or social connections that introduce you to new ideas and ways of thinking, as well as a major shift in your long-term goals. What you thought you wanted before may no longer feel right. Now, Uranus in your 11th house is pushing you to surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you, not those who keep you stuck in old stories or small thinking. If a friendship, group, or online space feels limiting, it's time to expand your social world. Now, while this eclipse is forcing you to release outdated thought patterns, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your 9th house of expansion, higher learning, travel, and spiritual wisdom. This means you're being called to expand your knowledge and beliefs, whether through travel, higher education, or spiritual study. If you've been playing small, afraid to take risk, you're now being asked to dream bigger and trust the unknown. You may feel a strong pull toward publishing, teaching, or sharing your knowledge on a larger scale. The Virgo moon opposite Saturn in Pisces can make this transition feel uncomfortable at first, as if you're being forced to let go of certainty in favor of trust. If you've been rigid in your thinking, Saturn in your ninth house is here to stretch you beyond your comfort zone. This is a moment of deep mental and spiritual growth, but it requires you to let go of limiting beliefs and step into a more expansive mindset. Now, some steps that you can take to help you to navigate this eclipse energy is first, to release negative thought patterns and overthinking. Recognize when your mind is working against you. Write down any repetitive self-critical thoughts and challenge them. Shift from overanalyzing to trusting your intuition. Not everything needs to be logically proven. Be mindful of how you speak to yourself. Are you encouraging or tearing yourself down? Next is to own your voice and speak your truth. If you've been holding back in conversations, practice speaking up and asserting your perspective. Say what you mean without over-explaining. Your truth is enough without needing constant justification. Set boundaries in communication. You don't have to engage in every argument or explain yourself to everyone. And finally, expand your mindset and embrace growth. Take a leap toward higher learning, spiritual study, or travel, something that broadens your perspective. Seek out mentors, teachers, or experiences that help you break free from limiting beliefs. Be open to changing your opinions and perspectives. Growth requires flexibility. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release outdated ways of thinking and open myself to new possibilities. My voice is powerful, and I trust in my ability to communicate with clarity and confidence. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this information, and subscribe for more. Also, be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energies. Thanks so much for watching. Leo. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is landing in your second house of money, self-worth, values, and material stability, bringing a major turning point in how you spend, earn, and value yourself. Since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release old financial habits, scarcity mindsets, and limiting beliefs around what you truly deserve. This is not just about money. It's about self-worth. If you've been undervaluing yourself, settling for less than you deserve, or struggling with financial instability, this eclipse is here to force a reset. It's time to shed outdated survival patterns and step into a new level of confidence, abundance, and security. With the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your second house, you are facing karmic patterns related to your self-worth and financial stability. So ask yourself, have you been settling for less in your career, relationships, or personal goals? Are you stuck in a scarcity mindset, feeling like there's never enough to go around? Do you struggle with asking for what you're worth, whether in relationships, business, or personal endeavors? The South Node represents what you're outgrowing, and in your case, it's time to break free from old beliefs around money and security that no longer serve you. If you've been undercharging, overworking for little return, or doubting your ability to attract abundance, this eclipse is your wake-up call. It's time to shift from, I have to work harder to survive, to, I am worthy of wealth and stability without struggle. The Virgo moon is forming a trine to Uranus in your 10th house of career, success, and public recognition, meaning that this shift in your self-worth is directly linked to your professional life. So this could manifest as unexpected career opportunities, a new job offer, raise, or sudden career pivot that aligns with your worth, as well as breaking free from a stagnant work situation. If a job isn't valuing you, you may feel the urge to leave, or a newfound sense of confidence in your expertise. You may realize you have more authority and influence than you thought. Uranus is all about breaking the mold, so if you've been stuck in a limiting career path, this eclipse is nudging you towards something better. Trust the shakeups. Now, while the Virgo moon is pushing you to release outdated self-worth issues, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward deep emotional and financial transformation. This means you're being called to heal emotional wounds related to self-worth, intimacy, and financial dependence. Joint finances, investments, or debts may need to be addressed. It's time to take financial empowerment seriously. And you may be stepping into a more powerful version of yourself, but only if you let go of self-doubt. Now, this Virgo moon is in opposition to Saturn in Pisces, which suggests a push-pull between financial independence and emotional financial entanglements. So if you've been overly dependent on others or too afraid to ask for support, this eclipse is pushing you to find balance. This is a deep transformation in your relationship with money, power, and self-worth. It's time to claim what's yours and stop playing small. Now, some steps that you can take to navigate this eclipse energy is first to release scarcity mindsets and step into financial empowerment. Identify any fears or limiting beliefs around money. Where did they come from? And are they even true? If you've been undercharging, overgiving, or settling financially, it's time to demand what you deserve. Pay attention to unexpected career shifts. Trust that anything leaving is making space for something better. Next is to redefine what security means to you. Security isn't just about money. It's also about self-trust and stability in your energy. Are you holding on to jobs, relationships, or situations just because they feel safe? If so, this eclipse is forcing you to let go. Focus on building inner confidence. When you know your worth, money and opportunities follow. And lastly, heal financial and emotional wounds. If you've been struggling with debt, financial instability, or trust issues in partnerships, this is a powerful moment to face those challenges. Let go of old emotional baggage tied to your worth. You are not defined by past struggles. Trust that as you transform your relationship with money and power, your outer world will reflect these changes. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release scarcity and step into my true worth. I am financially, emotionally, and spiritually abundant, and I claim the success I deserve. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this info, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Virgo. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is, of course, a major turning point for you because it lands in your first house of self, identity, and personal growth. Eclipses in the first house reshape who you are, your personality, physical appearance, relationships, and how you show up in the world. And with this eclipse conjunct the South Node, you are shedding an old version of yourself in a way that may feel both powerful and intense. If you felt like you've outgrown certain aspects of your life, identity, or relationships, this is your cosmic cue to release what no longer aligns with you. It's time to fully embrace who you are becoming rather than who you've been conditioned to be. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your first house, you're being asked to let go of old versions of yourself that were built around obligation, perfectionism, or people pleasing. You're being asked to let go of a need for control, overanalysis, or self-criticism. It's time to trust your intuition more. And you're also being called to let go of roles or labels that no longer feel authentic. Who are you really when you strip away expectations? You are not the same person you were even 6 months ago. This eclipse is revealing how much you've evolved and what needs to be left behind so that you can step into a new, more aligned version of yourself. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine to Uranus in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, and belief systems. This signals that this transformation of self is connected to a major shift in your beliefs. So you may be questioning old perspectives, traditions, or philosophies, as well as unexpected travel or educational opportunities, new experiences that push you outside of your comfort zone, as well as a desire to break free from limiting routines. If life has felt rigid or overly structured, this eclipse may spark the urge for something more adventurous. This is a zoom out moment where you're seeing your life from a higher perspective. What once felt important may no longer resonate, and your new direction will require you to think beyond what's familiar. Now, while this eclipse is focusing on you in your first house, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are shining a light on your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and commitments. So this means that you're reassessing the role of relationships in your life. Who truly supports your growth? If a relationship has felt one-sided, imbalanced, or unfulfilling, this eclipse may bring clarity or an ending. You may feel a pull toward deeper, more meaningful partnerships, whether in love or business. Now, this Virgo moon in opposition to Saturn in Pisces may create tension between your need for independence and your desire for deep connection. So you may feel a pull to focus on yourself, yet also recognize where relationships need work, boundaries, or restructuring. The North Node in your 7th house is showing you that true partnerships require balance. This is about making space for relationships that support the new version of you, not the old one. Now, some steps that you can take to navigate this eclipse energy is, first, to let go of an outdated identity. Reflect on who you were versus who you are becoming. What parts of yourself no longer feel aligned? Release perfectionism and the need to have everything figured out. Growth can be messy, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Your personal style, mindset, or even career path may be shifting. Next is to be open to new experiences and perspectives. Challenge limiting beliefs. Where have you been holding on to old ways of thinking out of fear? If an opportunity for travel, education, or spiritual growth arises, say yes. This is your path expanding. Give yourself permission to break free from routines that no longer serve your highest potential. And finally, reassess relationships and boundaries. If a partnership, whether romantic or business, isn't aligned with your growth, it may naturally fall away. Strengthen the relationships that uplift and inspire you, rather than those that drain you. Be clear about what you need in relationships. This is about mutual support, not sacrifice. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release the past version of myself and embrace my evolution. I trust that as I grow, the right people, opportunities, and experiences will align with me. Be sure to let me know in the comments below how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Also, be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energies. Thanks so much for watching. Libra rising. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house of endings, healing, spirituality, and the subconscious, bringing a deep karmic release. The 12th house is the most hidden part of your chart. It represents the unseen, the suppressed, and the things you've been avoiding. And with the eclipse conjunct the South Node, this is a powerful moment of letting go, healing, and surrendering control. If you've been holding on to emotional baggage, toxic patterns, or self-sabotaging behaviors, this eclipse will force you to face them, process them, and finally release them. It may feel like a chapter is closing, but trust that this ending is making space for a brand new beginning. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 12th house, you're being pushed to release old emotional wounds and unconscious fears that have been holding you back, as well as a tendency to hide your true feelings, pretending everything is fine when it's not, and self-sabotaging behaviors. Do you procrastinate, overthink, or avoid dealing with deeper emotions? This eclipse is like a spiritual detox, bringing up everything that needs to be healed so that you can move forward lighter, freer, and more aligned. If you've been ignoring something deep inside of you, it will come to the surface now. This may feel intense, but it's also deeply transformative. The more you surrender and trust this process, the more powerful your rebirth will be. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine aspect to Uranus, currently in your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, and shared resources. And this signals that this emotional release will also bring unexpected breakthroughs in your deepest relationships and your financial life. So this could manifest as a sudden emotional realization. Something clicks and you finally understand what's been holding you back. Or an unexpected financial shift, a debt is repaid, an investment opportunity appears, or you experience a breakthrough in your relationship with money, as well as a major shift in intimacy. If you've been feeling afraid of vulnerability, this eclipse may push you to open up. Uranus in the 8th house is about breaking free from old fears and stepping into personal power. If you've been afraid of deep emotional connections, financial independence, or true transformation, this eclipse is pushing you toward a breakthrough. Now, while this eclipse is clearing out deep subconscious patterns, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are activating your 6th house of daily routines, work, and physical health. This means you're being asked to ground your healing through practical daily habits, such as meditation, journaling, therapy, or healthier daily routines. You may feel a strong pull towards service, helping others, or healing work. Work or health-related changes may be happening. If something in your routine feels misaligned, it's time to shift. The Virgo moon in opposition to Saturn in Pisces may create some tension between needing rest and daily responsibilities. So you may feel exhausted, emotionally drained, or unsure how to balance work and healing. The lesson here is that true productivity comes from a place of inner balance. Healing is just as important as doing. If you don't slow down willingly, the universe may force you to. Now, some actionable steps that you can take to navigate the energy of this eclipse is first to let go of old emotional wounds and unconscious blocks. Take time for deep reflection. Journal, meditate, or go to therapy. Acknowledge what you need to release, whether it's a toxic mindset, habit, or emotional attachment. If something feels like it's naturally ending, let it go with trust instead of resistance. Next is to prioritize rest, healing, and spiritual practices. If you feel drained or overwhelmed, honor your need for rest and solitude. Start or deepen a spiritual practice, whether it's breath work, energy healing, or simply creating more quiet moments in your day. Listen to your intuition and your dreams. They hold powerful messages right now. And finally, bring healing into your daily life. With the North Node in your 6th house, create small but meaningful daily habits that support your growth. Pay attention to work and health matters. Are you taking care of your body and mind? Find balance between productivity and rest. Your energy is precious. Use it wisely. A great affirmation for you for this full moon eclipse energy is, I release the past and embrace healing. I trust that endings create space for new beginnings, and I surrender to the divine flow of my life. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this info, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Scorpio rising. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse lands in your 11th house of friendships, community, and future goals, bringing major shifts in your social circles, aspirations, and the way you connect with the world. Now, since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release outdated friendships, social dynamics, and limiting beliefs around your place in the world. If you've been clinging to connections that no longer align with your personal evolution, this eclipse is here to break those ties. Likewise, if you've been unsure about the direction of your long-term dreams and goals, expect major clarity or a redirection. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 11th house, you're facing deep karmic lessons around friendships, social status, and your bigger vision for the future. So ask yourself, have you outgrown certain friendships but felt guilty about letting them go? Are you holding on to outdated goals, dreams, or social roles that no longer inspire you? Have you been feeling disconnected or misunderstood in your friend groups or networks? The South Node represents past life and old patterns that you're being asked to release. Now, for you, this means letting go of friendships and community spaces that no longer support your highest evolution. If a friendship, social group, or vision for the future isn't aligned with your growth, expect this eclipse to either push you to leave or force a major realization. Now, this Virgo moon is making a trine aspect to Uranus, which is currently in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. This means that as you clear out old friendships and goals, new, unexpected connections may emerge. So this can manifest as a sudden realization about a relationship, whether romantic or business related. Something may shift unexpectedly, as well as new, exciting partnerships or friendships. So you can meet people who shake up your perspective and introduce you to new ways of thinking, as well as a breakthrough from codependent or unbalanced relationships. If someone has been controlling or limiting your freedom, this eclipse may bring an ending. Now, Uranus is unpredictable, so expect surprises in your closest relationships. If something shifts dramatically, trust that it's meant to realign you with your true path. Now, while this eclipse is releasing outdated friendships and social goals, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your 5th house of creativity, passion, self-expression, and romance. So this means that you're being called to prioritize happiness, creative fulfillment, and authentic self-expression. Now, if a past version of you was overly focused on social expectations, it's time to reconnect with what truly excites you. Romantic themes may arise, so this could mark the beginning or ending of a karmic love cycle. Now, the Virgo moon in opposition to Saturn currently in Pisces suggests tension between wanting to focus on your personal joy and feeling obligated to certain social roles or friendships. So you may feel guilty about putting yourself first, but this eclipse is showing you why it's necessary. The lesson is, you can't keep sacrificing your happiness to maintain connections that no longer align. It's time to prioritize yourself, your passions, and the people who truly see and support you. Now, some steps that you can take to navigate the energy of this eclipse is first to release any outdated friendships and social roles. If a friendship or group no longer aligns with you, don't force it to stay in your life. Pay attention to who supports your dreams versus who drains your energy. If you've been stuck in a social role out of obligation, it's time to step into something new. Next is to embrace unexpected relationship changes. If new relationships enter your life suddenly, be open to their impact. And if an old relationship ends abruptly, trust that it's making space for something better. Set stronger boundaries and only invest energy in relationships that truly nurture you. And finally, prioritize happiness, passion, and self-expression. Rediscover what lights you up: hobbies, creative projects, or personal passions. Make time for fun, adventure, and pleasure. Life isn't just about obligations. Stop hiding parts of yourself to fit in. Be bold in your self-expression. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release friendships and dreams that no longer align with my growth. I welcome relationships, opportunities, and passions that bring me happiness, authenticity, and fulfillment. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this information, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Sagittarius risings. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse lands in your 10th house of career, public reputation, and life direction, marking a powerful shift in your professional path and the legacy that you're building. Now, since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release outdated career roles, limiting beliefs about success, or responsibilities that no longer align with your higher purpose. If you've been feeling stuck, unfulfilled, or misaligned in your career, this eclipse may bring a major realization, a career pivot, or even an unexpected ending that pushes you toward a new direction. This isn't about playing it safe. It's about stepping into your true calling and letting go of external expectations. Now, with this Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 10th house, you're facing deep karmic lessons around your relationship with success and public recognition. Are you chasing status over fulfillment? Also, your true life path. Are you in a career that aligns with your soul's purpose, or are you just going through the motions? As well as the need to release toxic workplace dynamics, outdated professional goals, or limiting beliefs about achievement. The South Node represents what we've outgrown. So if your career or reputation no longer reflects who you truly are, this eclipse will force a change, whether you're ready for it or not. If you've been hustling for external validation but feeling unfulfilled, this is your wake-up call to redefine success on your own terms. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine to Uranus currently in your 6th house of work, health, and daily routines. And this suggests that this career shift is also tied to how you approach work-life balance, wellness, and daily responsibilities. So this could manifest as a sudden career change, quitting, getting a job promotion, or an unexpected shift in your role, as well as breaking free from burnout. If your job has been draining you, you may finally decide to restructure your work-life balance. Or health breakthroughs. If stress has taken a toll on your body, this eclipse may force you to prioritize your well-being. Now, Uranus in your sixth house is urging you to shake up your daily habits, let go of overworking, and embrace more freedom in your schedule. If you've been grinding away at a career that's slowly draining you, this eclipse will show you where you need a radical shift. Now, while this eclipse is shaking up your career and public life, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your fourth house of home, family, and emotional security. This means you may be reassessing your work-life balance. Is your career taking too much energy from your personal life? You could feel a strong pull toward home, family, or even relocating. Your priorities are shifting. And if your foundation feels unstable, this eclipse is reminding you that true success isn't just external. It's also about inner fulfillment. Now, the Virgo moon is making an opposition to Saturn in Pisces. So this suggests tension between your public responsibilities and your personal life. So you may feel torn between career ambition and the need for emotional grounding. The lesson here is that true success isn't just about external achievements. It's about feeling at peace within yourself. So if you've been sacrificing personal happiness for career success, this eclipse is here to restore balance. Now, some steps that you can take in order to help you navigate this eclipse energy is first to let go of career paths that no longer serve you. So if your job no longer excites you, trust that something better is waiting. Pay attention to new career opportunities. This could be your moment to pivot. And release outdated definitions of success. You don't have to chase goals that no longer resonate. Next is to restructure your daily life for more freedom and balance. If you've been overworking, start prioritizing rest and well-being. Consider a new routine or a work setup that aligns with your energy and creativity. Pay attention to unexpected job changes. They may be a blessing in disguise. And finally, reconnect with what feels like home. So make time for family, emotional healing, and creating a space that nurtures you. If you feel called to relocate or change your home life, trust the pull. It's part of your growth. Balance ambition with emotional well-being. Success means nothing if you don't feel at peace. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release outdated definitions of success and embrace a career that aligns with my soul. I trust that true success is built on both ambition and inner peace. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you really want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Capricorn. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is landing in your ninth house of expansion, higher learning, travel, and belief systems, marking a major shift in your worldview, spiritual beliefs, and personal growth. Now, since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you are being asked to release outdated philosophies, limiting beliefs, or rigid perspectives that no longer serve your evolution. If you've been feeling mentally stuck, uninspired, or disconnected from your greater purpose. This eclipse may bring a powerful realization, a shift in direction, or even an unexpected opportunity to explore something new. This is about breaking free from self-imposed limitations and stepping into a more expansive way of thinking and living. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your ninth house, you're being asked to release old belief systems that no longer resonate with your evolving self. Releasing the fear of stepping outside your comfort zone. Are you clinging to the familiar because it feels safe? As well as releasing a rigid mindset or resistance to new perspectives. Where have you been unwilling to change? The South Node represents past life karma and outdated cycles, meaning you're being urged to stop playing small and embrace a new level of growth, wisdom, and possibility. This eclipse is pushing you to expand your mind and take risk, whether through travel, higher education, spiritual studies, or simply allowing yourself to embrace a new way of thinking. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine aspect to Uranus, currently transiting in your fifth house of passion, creativity, and self-expression. So this suggests that this mental expansion will also awaken new desires, passions, and creative inspiration. So this can manifest as a sudden desire to explore a creative project or passion you've ignored, as well as an unexpected romantic or dating experience that challenges your usual preferences, or a new way of expressing yourself or sharing your gifts with the world. Now, Uranus in your fifth house has been shaking things up for the last few years, so you may feel a sudden urge to have more fun, take creative risk, or break free from any self-imposed seriousness. If you've been playing it too safe, this eclipse is here to shake things loose. Now, while this eclipse is expanding your horizons, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your third house of communication, learning, and day-to-day thinking. So this means you may feel compelled to learn something new or share your knowledge with others. Also, you're being asked to develop more clarity in your speech, writing, or teaching abilities, as well as conversations with siblings, friends, or mentors may play a key role in shifting your mindset. Now, the Virgo moon is in opposition to Saturn in Pisces. This suggests tension between big picture thinking and the day-to-day details. So you may feel overwhelmed by how to make a big dream happen. But this is your sign to trust the process rather than needing all the answers up front. The lesson here is that your mind is your greatest asset. Nurture it, expand it, and don't limit yourself to old ways of thinking. Now, some steps that you can take to help navigate the energy of this eclipse is first to let go of limiting beliefs and embrace expansion. Identify rigid mindsets, cultural beliefs, or fears that have been keeping you stuck. Be open to new teachings, philosophies, or spiritual perspectives that challenge your old ways of thinking. Say yes to opportunities that expand your world, so travel, study, or simply embracing a more adventurous mindset. Next is to follow your passion and take creative risk. If an unexpected creative or romantic opportunity arises, lean into it rather than overthinking it. Allow yourself to have fun and express yourself in new ways. Stop waiting for the right moment to pursue what excites you. The time is now. And finally, strengthen your voice and communication. If you've been considering writing, speaking, or teaching, this is your sign to start. Watch for important conversations or messages that provide clarity about your path. Balance big picture vision with day-to-day learning and communication. A great affirmation for you for this eclipse energy is, I release outdated beliefs and embrace a new level of wisdom, creativity, and adventure. I trust that expansion is my destiny. Be sure to let me know how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you would like to dive even deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Aquarius rising. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse lands in your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, shared resources, and deep emotional healing, bringing major breakthroughs and endings in areas related to power, control, financial ties, and emotional wounds. Now, since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release fears, attachments, or past traumas that have kept you from stepping into your full personal power. This is a deeply transformative eclipse, one that could stir up intense emotions, financial shifts, or sudden realizations about who and what you're truly investing your energy in. But the end goal is greater empowerment, emotional freedom, and a total reset in how you handle trust, intimacy, and financial stability. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 8th house, you're facing deep karmic lessons around emotional or financial dependencies. So, are you relying too much on others for security? As well as fear of vulnerability and intimacy. Are past wounds keeping you from fully opening up? And control and trust issues. Do you struggle with letting go and allowing others to support you? The South Node represents what we need to release. And for you, this is a moment of letting go of unhealthy attachments, whether they are financial, emotional, or even energetic. If you've been holding on to resentment, carrying emotional baggage, or fearing true intimacy, this eclipse is here to cleanse and reset those wounds. This is about shedding your old emotional skin so you can step into a more empowered, fearless version of yourself. Now, this Virgo moon is making a trine to Uranus, currently in your 4th house of home, family, and emotional security. So this means that this deep transformation will also impact your home life and sense of stability. So this can manifest as a sudden move or change in your living situation, a shift that aligns more with your emotional needs. Revelations about family dynamics. Hidden truths may come to the surface, allowing for deep healing, as well as an emotional breakthrough. So you may finally release a past wound that's been weighing you down. Now, Uranus in your 4th house is pushing you to redefine what home and security truly mean. If your emotional foundation has felt unstable, this eclipse is helping you create a new, healthier sense of inner peace. Now, while this eclipse is forcing you to let go of emotional and financial baggage, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your 2nd house of money, self-worth, and material security. This means you're being called to take full responsibility for your financial independence, No more relying on unstable sources of income or support. You may feel a strong urge to rebuild your confidence and self-worth. This is about trusting your own value, not looking for validation from others. And if you've been in a financial partnership, marriage, or shared investment, this eclipse may bring clarity about what needs to change. Now, the Virgo moon is in opposition to Saturn in Pisces. So this suggests a tension between financial, emotional dependence and personal stability. So you may feel torn between trusting others for support and stepping into your full independence. The lesson here is that you don't have to carry the weight of everything alone, but you also can't give your power away to others. This eclipse is teaching you how to balance trust, financial stability, and personal empowerment. Now, some steps that you can take to help navigate the energy of this eclipse is first to let go of emotional and financial attachments that no longer serve you. If you've been emotionally or financially tied to something unhealthy, this is your sign to release it. Let go of fears around money, intimacy, and control. Trust that new, healthier dynamics are forming. Be willing to face deep emotions head on. This is a moment of profound inner healing. Next is to create a stronger emotional and financial foundation. So focus on financial independence. Pay off debts, start saving, or rethink your investments. Strengthen your self-worth. Your value is not defined by external sources of support. If family or home dynamics have been unstable, start creating your own sense of security. And finally, be open to unexpected changes in home and relationships. If a sudden home or family shift occurs, trust that it's leading you toward a better foundation. If someone exits your life or a deep truth is revealed, don't resist it. This is a necessary clearing. Welcome in new levels of intimacy and trust, but only in ways that align with your growth. A great affirmation for you for the energy of this eclipse is, I release old fears and emotional baggage, stepping fully into my power. I trust that true security comes from within, and I am financially, emotionally, and spiritually free. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this information, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you want to dig deeper into your spiritual energy. Thanks so much for watching. Pisces. So this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse lands in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and one-on-one connections, marking a major turning point in how you relate to others. Since this eclipse is conjunct the South Node, you're being asked to release outdated relationship patterns, toxic dynamics, and codependent tendencies that have kept you from experiencing true, balanced partnerships. If you've been clinging to a relationship that no longer serves you, struggling with unhealed wounds in love, or repeatedly attracting the same unhealthy dynamics, this eclipse is here to shake things up. Whether it's an ending, a revelation, or a breakthrough in love and commitment, this moment is about stepping into relationships that truly align with your highest self. Now, with the Virgo moon conjunct the South Node in your 7th house, you are facing deep karmic lessons around releasing unhealthy relationship patterns. So, are you clinging to something out of fear, comfort, or habit? As well as learning to balance independence and connection. Do you lose yourself in relationships, or do you keep others at a distance? As well as breaking free from self-sacrifice in love. Are you always the giver, putting others before yourself? The South Node represents past life karma and old patterns, which means you're being given a powerful opportunity to break free from toxic relationship cycles that have been playing out over and over again. If a partnership, whether romantic, business, or personal, is not built on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity, this eclipse will make it very clear what needs to change or end. Now, the Virgo moon is making a trine aspect to Uranus, currently in your 3rd house of communication, thoughts, and daily interactions. So this signals that a sudden conversation, realization, or message could be the catalyst for change in your relationships. So this could manifest as a sudden, unexpected truth coming to light. You may see your relationship more clearly than ever before. Or a conversation that completely shifts your perspective on love, commitment, or partnerships. As well as a breaking point in an old dynamic. Something that once felt stable may suddenly feel completely different. Uranus in your 3rd house is shaking up the way you think and communicate. So you may realize that your old ways of relating to others no longer fit your evolving mindset. Be open to unexpected revelations. Now, while this eclipse is transforming your relationships, the Sun, Saturn, and North Node in Pisces are guiding you toward your 1st house of identity, personal growth, and self-expression. So this means that you are being called to step fully into your power, truth, and authenticity. No more shrinking yourself for the sake of others. If a relationship has required you to compromise who you are, this eclipse will make it clear that it's time to let go. The way you show up in relationships is changing. You are no longer willing to settle for anything that doesn't align with your highest evolution. Now, the Virgo moon is making an opposition to Saturn currently in Pisces. So this suggests tension between your need for partnership and your personal growth. So you may feel like you're being asked to choose between love and independence, but the real lesson is learning to have both. The North Node in your 1st house is reminding you, you are the main character of your life. Your relationships should enhance you, not define you. Now, some steps that you can take to help navigate the energy of this eclipse is first, release relationships that no longer serve you. If a relationship has been draining, toxic, or unfulfilling, it's time to walk away. If an unexpected truth surfaces, trust that it's happening for your highest good. Focus on relationships that honor your true self, not just the version of you that others expect. Next is to shift the way you communicate and connect with others. Pay attention to conversations or messages that bring sudden clarity. Words are powerful under this eclipse. Speak your truth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Honesty is what will set you free. If a misunderstanding arises, listen deeply and allow space for new perspectives. And finally, put yourself first without guilt. If you've been bending over backwards to please others, this is your wake-up call to prioritize yourself. Step fully into your own identity, confidence, and independence. Relationships should add to your life, not be your entire life. A great affirmation for you for the energy of this eclipse is, I release relationships that no longer align with my growth. I embrace connections that honor my truth, and I step into my highest self with confidence and love. Be sure to let me know in the comments how this lunar eclipse energy is showing up for you. And be sure to like, share with your friends who can also benefit from this message, and subscribe for more. And be sure to check out my offerings linked below if you really want to dig deeper into your spiritual path. Thanks so much for watching.